Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is Societal Narcissism. No contribution with this video. So, it's the next day after President Poopy Pants' State of the Union address. And I'll tell you this, it is very clear, and I've talked about it in the past, but it is very clear now is the time for Generation X to stand up and fight. And we finally saw some of it last night. You know, what a show. What an absolute meltdown of a fucking aged out, decrepit baby boomer trying to cling on to power any way he can. And listen, it's deeper than Biden. It's deeper than Biden and one guy. It's the entire ideology that he's out there fronting for or being controlled for. I've talked for years in my baby boomer videos, for years, that the baby boomers are going to get worse as they get older and older and closer to death. They want to control the world from beyond the grave. Who are the most, besides Trump? You put Trump aside, okay, because he's a boomer and they look at him as top of the chain. But before Trump came along, okay, and besides Trump, who are the most hated people in public life and in society? They're all Gen Xers, all of them. Whether in the media, whether it's Tucker or Maria, who are both Gen Xers, really the only two on any type of mainstream media that I put any trust in whatsoever. Maria more so because she's trying to do straight news. Politically, Ted Cruz, Mike Lee, Marjorie Taylor Greene. You could just go down the list of all the most hated politicians. Okay, there's a couple millennials in there, Gates and Boebert. They can't stand for a litany of reasons. But when you see a hated politician or you see a hated media figure, more likely than not, they're going to be Gen X. And for the first time ever, Republicans didn't act like a bunch of fucking losers last night. And why was that? Because it was led by the Gen X delegates who stood up there and just outright mocked Joe Biden right to his face. Which is the same thing the Democrats were doing to Trump during every one of Trump's State of the Union addresses. They sat there, they snickered, they sneered the entire time throughout the whole speech. No, they just waited for him, and you don't have to wait long with Biden for him to tell some of his whoppers of stories. And then they went at him hard. They went at him so hard that for the first time, a president was arguing from the podium directly with people during the State of the Union. And people say, oh, well, when Obama, they called out he lied. Well, yeah, it was one comment, you lie, and everybody went, oh, and acted like it was this guy Joe Wilson from South Carolina, who's a rhino anyway. And it was over health care. If you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. And you know what? Obama lied. He was lying. Oh, they had him. Boy, the boomer does not like to be challenged. And it's not only Biden. It's Pelosi. It's Schumer. It's McConnell. I mean, McConnell just kicked Mike Lee off all his committees for not supporting him. He kicked Rick Scott off too because he tried to run against him, but Rick Scott's another boomer. I don't care. This is why I'm leading Trump. I mean, this is the deal breaker with Trump at this point. And it's not really, is it fair to him? Kinda. I can't do boomers anymore. I can't. Because with boomers comes boomerism and that selfishness and that narcissism that unfortunately Trump has it too. And Trump's just doing dumb shit now. Trying to accuse DeSantis of being a groomer and stuff that's been long been debunked. And I love Trump. I love him. I'm like, just argue stuff on its merits and have a full-on debate, but he don't want to do that. He can't fucking stop himself. He can't stop himself. Why? It's that boomer pride. It's that boomer edge. And it's a boomer versus Gen X again. He looks at DeSantis and he looks at Don Jr. and he thinks, oh, well, he's just a kid. Trump will talk up his kids, okay, but he doesn't really respect his sons for some reason. His daughter, for whatever reason that I think we know, okay, and her shithead fucking husband, they get all the respect in the world. Okay, the one family member, okay, who we didn't like, I didn't want any of his kids working in the administration, but the last one you would have wanted working for him in the administration is the one he brought along and caused so much goddamn damage to the agenda. Her and her dumbass husband. Now is the time, Gen X, to take the reins because they're ours for the taking. You know, the boomers care about themselves, okay? They hate Gen X. They use the millennial generation as their new Red Army to enact their boomer agenda beyond their grave, because that's what boomers want to do. They want to control the world from beyond the grave. They're ghouls. But you saw the crack. I mean, we've been seeing cracks in the armor for a very, very long time. But what you saw last night was a full-on meltdown, where you have the President of the United States arguing, fighting during the middle of the State of the Union address, and I love it. Because those are the rules. That's how it has to go. That's how it has to be. Sorry. And listen, in other countries, they're used to this kind of stuff. You know, maybe if we had a system like in England or in Canada, or where they have like prime minister questions, PMQs. One of my favorite things, and I've talked about this too. One of my favorite things politically to watch used to be prime minister questions in England. Oh my God, were they hilarious? Where, you know, you get to stand there and challenge the prime minister, challenge the president on his policies. Oh, it used to be great, like Cameron versus Brown in the UK. Those were the highlights back then. And David Cameron ended up being another globalist sellout. It wasn't actually a conservative. You know, before he became prime minister, he was Mr. Conservative over there. Said all the right things, and then did what they always do: sell out and go globalist. Right now we're seeing this up in Canada, eh? You know, buddy named Pierre. I did a video on him. What's his last name? What's Buddy's last name? Don't remember. Then Pierre. Drawing a blank. But he goes during the prime minister questions and hammers Castro's love child. Just hammers him on the cost of house, and they don't answer anything. I mean, it just becomes a mockery. But at least it is out there. Everybody can see Castro Jr. out there refusing to answer questions, stuttering, muttering, giving these racial divisive kind of answers on other things. And listen, if the women, and it is the women who elected Castro Jr. up there, and if the women are still dumb enough to put that all aside and say, oh, but he's so cute. Okay, he's so cute when he puts on his black face for 20 times or dances around in Indian garb and still vote for it. Hey, like I said, you get what you get. You get what you vote for and you get what you deserve. Zero sympathy for me. You know, a couple people said, like, why aren't we going and liberating England, liberating Canada from Trudeau? Why? They voted for it. I'm not helping anybody who votes for shit. And it doesn't seem like their elections had any fuckery with them. Not that ours have either, because all our elections are complete, secure, and safe, and they're the greatest ever, and every vote is counted honestly and accurately, except for 2016 where Trump stole it. But every other election is tits. They don't seem to have that issue. Trudeau won a couple times. Why am I going to fucking bail out Canada, eh? Sorry, buddy. You voted for buddy. We ain't the buddies going to come in and bail a buddy out. Okay, friend? Sorry, my Canadian's a little rusty right now. No. And the other thing is, the focus on the national politics is overstated as well. And I've told you, we're winning. You win. You're going to win a conservative agenda by sticking to your local politics. Your school boards, your sheriffs, your prosecutors, your mayors, your state assemblies, your state senates, and your governors. Because it's only the governors, okay, in the states that have the power to push back against the federal government. All this CRT stuff and DEI stuff that's going on, that shit ain't happening in Florida. That shit gets shut down because we have a governor who says no. And because we balkanized here, remember my word, balkanization, not really my word. If you follow Jesse Kelly, you'll know where it came from. If you balkanize and then you get control of your school board and you get control of your board of education and you get control of your town council and your mayor and your governorship and your state and local politics, you don't have to deal with a lot of the federal bullshit because you have apparatus in place to push back against it, and they got nowhere to turn. The Florida universities, all this critical race theory, all this DEI stuff is thrown out the window. It's illegal. DeSantis appointed this kid, not a kid, he's a guy, but Chris Rufo. You've probably seen him on Fox. You've seen him talking about critical race theory and the indoctrination of school curriculums. He is on the board of these colleges now with the ability to fire college university presidents, to shut down these wokesters who try to have conservative events shut down on campuses. It is gone, and there ain't a damn thing they could do about it. Shit, DeSantis took down Disney. They lost their special privileges where, understand, Disney in Florida was its own government. What happened on Disney stayed at Disney. They didn't have to consult with the state of Florida. None of it. Not no more. And they weren't paying taxes. Not anymore. And every time they tried to say something, DeSantis would come in and say, "Oh yeah," and then be like, "Nah, not really. Yeah, that's what we thought." So, I'm happy with what I saw last night. I hope my generation, and this is something I have talked about repeatedly on this channel, that I'm going to have to just bring it to the forefront. You know, my generation, now is the time. Now is the time. You saw what happened last night. When you fight back, they lose their damn mind. They don't know how to handle it. This demented old poopy pants president is fighting from the goddamn podium during his own State of the Union address. Oh, it was great. It was great. It really was. So, but understand, Gen X, and this is what could be demoralizing. Understand, it's our generation versus the other ones. Boomers, millennials, whatever else comes in between. Okay? And they all hate each other anyway. But remember, there's a generation in between you both, in between you, that hates you both. So, now is the time, Gen X. Now is the time. All right, everybody, I'm going to cut it there. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, something you'd like me to expose, you'd like to set up a Skype phone call, have a private video made, you'd like to sponsor a video like this for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or just make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it supported, growing, and successful, because this channel survives 100% on contributions from all of you. Without you guys, all of this goes away. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do with the Cash App, Zelle, PayPal, or email links in the description box below. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been Societal Narcissism. Take care, everyone.